So in this episode of Learning by Doing, I sail out to the very, very remote atoll called Ontong Java in the Solomon Islands. I've decided to do something a little different this episode. I'll be showing a lot of photos and a little bit less video footage. Thought that might be interesting. Actually, not really. I lost most of my footage from this trip. I'm seriously bummed about it. I don't really know how it happened. Just an idiot mistake, I guess. Real sad because I'd filmed a lot out there. It was just a highlight of my whole trip, and I'd filmed a lot and I was really happy with the footage. But it's gone. I get over it. Move on. There's still lots more good stuff to come. If you did like the video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe to my channel, push the notifications bell, and yeah, let's get on with it. It was about a 350 kilometre sail out to Ontong Java. That was a day, a night and a day. We passed by a reef called Roncador Reef. No land, just a reef around. There's shipwrecks all over it. That was pretty interesting. And then we got into Ontong Java in the evening and found a spot just before sunset, and amazing sunset it was. And then, yeah, the skies out there are just unbelievable because there's no lights out there, so it's the darkest of darks. And you just get crazy stars. So I did a few long exposure shots off the bow of the boat with the crazy LSD stars flying around. Amazing time. So Ontong Java is a massive lagoon. It has many islands, but only 2 of them are inhabited. And I went and anchored outside the smallest one, Pelau. It has about 300 inhabitants. In the morning I paddled into shore and was lucky enough to catch the locals practicing their custom singing and dancing for an upcoming event. Amazing. Pelau is a very simple place. They haven't had a supply ship in over 3 years, so they survive almost completely on what they have around them. The simple coconut tree is a very important part of life here. They drink the milk, obviously, they eat the meat, they use the husks for fires to keep away mosquitoes, they use the leaves for building their houses, they use the trunks also for building their houses. They eat all sorts of fish, they eat turtles. They basically just survive on everything that's around them. They sell sea cucumber to the Chinese, and that's about their only form of income, and they use that for buying fuel for their outboard motors. And that's pretty much it. They have a nurse with very, very simple facilities. There's no airstrip, there's no helicopter, there's no ships coming, so they're completely reliant on themselves. All babies are born on the island, and all people die and are buried on the island. And that's just the way it goes out here. Quite a few squalls blew through while I was in the anchorage, and there really is no protection, and you're surrounded by coral bommies. So there were some nerve-wracking moments for sure in the couple of weeks I stayed out there. This is Chief Willie, chieftain of the island. He was born in 1937 and remembers the Second World War when a Japanese warship came into the lagoon. The kids out there on Pelau were just amazing, and they followed me around and spent time on the boat, and I went and watched them in school, and yeah, the kids were just so cool, so great.
Is a subtraction. Don't have to mix them up because number 1 and number 2 is an addition. Number 3 and number 4 is a subtraction. Number 1 and number 2 you add with them 10. Number 3 with them number 4 you subtract with them 10.
The school here is very basic, but all the children attend. There's a lack of teachers, so often one teacher will jump between 1 or 2 or even 3 classrooms. There's holes in the floor, there's holes in the walls, and you'll often see kids just skipping between classrooms backwards and forwards, but they all love it, and they're all trying to learn, so it's pretty cool. Life here on Pelau is pretty peaceful. There's not too much to worry about. But one big worry that the islanders have is climate change. They've seen their island change drastically in the last 40 years, just the size of it alone. There used to be 3 more rows of houses on the seaward side. The original cemetery is actually now underwater and in the lagoon. Their gardens grow much less food. The food that they do grow takes much longer to mature. They used to be able to drink the water from the wells. Now it's brackish, and they can just use it for washing and cooking and things like that, and they would have to rely on rainwater for drinking. So they do notice these things, and it is very scary for them. They're thinking about having to relocate in the next couple of generations, and that would be very, very sad to lose the culture on these very remote islands. Yes.
Okay.
Monkey.
Oh, a monkey. Hey! Spinning, spinning.
Spinning.
Yes. Strong teeth.
Coconut. Coconut.
There was a guy called Chris who welcomed us very warmly to the island. Made us feel very much at home and introduced us to his family and spent a lot of time with us. Real good guy. He's an important guy on the island. He organised a going away feast for us with all of the chiefs and the headman of the island, including ceremonial neck attire. These are made from turmeric leaves, and hence the colour, and infused with different perfumes and scents from the island, used for special occasions. I made a dish to go along with the feast, and then we had all of the goodies that they can produce on the island. In the end, we exchanged speeches. Chris said very nice words, and I said what I could. Thanked everyone very much for our amazing stay out there.
We are so thankful for your coming and do your documentation on this island. We look forward for your coming in the future. I'm not quite sure whether some of us will be still alive or we will go to the grave, but I hope that the next generation they will remember some of the memories that we have been doing today. Thank you.
And then the next morning he took us on his boat with his family out to Schiehallion, and I gave him a bit of a tour of the yacht, and we gave him some presents and some hugs and tears, and then we were out of there. It was very sad to leave, and I definitely will be going back again one day. Happy to be home.